Hey y'all, we're back. Game 3. Finally found out what a Buxton kitchen was. Don't make fun of me, but I hope y'all enjoyed.
I don't care about your happiness. I just
That picture of a Buxton kitchen. I kind of know what it is. Interesting thing to note, red side's won both games so far, so no blue side advantage this time. See if anything new comes out. Warren Twisted Fate out of the NACG side squad. Ezreal being banned away this time from Cusss. He showed just how exemplary his Ezreal is. You know, just amazing. Jarvan ban coming through again, targeted at NA Lab. He's shown that you can play a lot of different things. You know, is Cusss going to be taken away this time? Misfortune being banned away. I'm assuming from Fat Booty, I guess. Seems like another just OP ban. Kind of taking away Zen Zhao again, targeted at NA Lab, and you just have to think. You know, I didn't see the last draft, but you know, things like Zach taken away from Salamander Man. NA Lab trying to show his champ pool off. We see 4 bans game 1 played Jax, then gets to play Kha'Zix. You know, same 4 champions. Zach is 5th champion that was targeted or picked by him. Salamander Man responding though with the Rammus. If he can't get on top of Cusss here. Actually, Cusss picking up looks like a mid laner. For best singer right now hovering this Cassiopeia, not the Jace. If that actually holds. And right now actually looks like no, it's gonna be the Sivir. Sivir is picked up for Cusss. And that's actually a really perplexing thought. Cusss really hard carried game 2. Although of course, you know, Buxton Kitchen hit a lot of nice Leona ults. He's going for the Alistar, not, you know, in response to lolersa picking away Leona. So it's the trade of Zach for Leona. You see some new champions on each team, but Alistar being taken for Buxton Kitchen. I just feel like I have to show what a Buxton Kitchen is. Oh, but ProPhase is going to lock in his Victor yet again. You know, standard. You know, that's what he's going to play. Wasn't the most impactful. In fact, he just over chased on a lot of things. You know, the next ban phase coming through. ADC or sorry, top mid for NACG left to be picked.
Never look back.
Jace is taken away. Force best singer onto something else. For the side of University of Florida, it is their top lane and ADC. The Camille is going to be picked, banned away from Coma. I mean, he's an avid Darius player, actually. So, I'm actually kind of surprised that hasn't been picked. As right now, though, a beefy front line for the NACG squad. So, there's going to be a lot of these carry bans should go towards the NACG squad for University of Florida.
So I go.
The banned Shen actually just, I mean, they already have 2 tanks. I don't know if you need a 3rd tank. You know, Sivir does a lot of damage in team fights across the entire teams. You just don't have the Darius band coming through. Yeah, just focusing Coma here. Take away some of his more favorite tanks to play. Because right now it's going to be Fat Booty on the clock. If he picks his ADC, if they pick a top laner here. Top laner still hasn't been shown yet. Let's. Oh, Fat Booty's pulling out the Vayne. Well, it makes sense, but it's kind of a huge front line. No, nullifies the Alistar ultimate. And it's going to take that percent true damage. But Fat Booty having a lot of positioning issues and getting ahead. And just falling really far behind. See if he can't stay safer on a Vayne, which is already less safe. Best singer picking up a Kassadin. Really kind of an annoying pick. Has been pretty strong actually in this current meta to play into the Victor. xMaoNan going for the Trundle. Beefy team. And it's again going to actually fall on Cusss to be the damage dealer, and for best singer, you know, kind of just annihilate somebody after Cuss's damage is trying to pick through. Coma wants right now Urgot. No, he goes to the Poppy. Yeah, I've seen him play Urgot. Probably is going to be locked in. It is going to be the Poppy to round out University of Florida's comp, and you know, all I can say right away, Fat Booty wants to carry this game. He wants to carry or lose while trying.
Alright, everyone invite higher ranked players so you can kick turtles.
And meanwhile, honestly, NACG squad just has a better team comp. I mean, I get the idea that, you know, Leona has a lot of CC. Rammus can lock down somebody, you know, especially a backline member. And, you know, Poppy has a good amount of CC as well. And the Vayne should have a good time staying alive. But I just have to wonder if NACG squad, NACG's comp is just a bit easier to pull off, a bit better of late game team fighting, especially if, you know, the Vayne is the win condition for University of Florida. That Vayne falls behind, bam, it's all gone. So maybe not necessarily a better team comp, but just like there's a single win condition as of right now. Even if the Victor gets ahead, is he going to be able to burst on Cassidy? I'm not sure. Sivir has a spell shield, no one will stay alive. You know, there's 3 beefy tanks at top of Victor that's fairly immobile. Versus, you know, trying to stop, you know, I mean, meanwhile, you know, UF, I mean, again, they have Poppy, you know, it's single-handedly negate something. Maybe Poppy can negate an Alistar using his headbutt to get in to fights or something, but now that, or the Zac engages, you know, that, you know, it's kind of that, and then a single target from there, lolersa trying to pick up onto somebody else unless, you know, they get the jump on the gun. You know, how does it go? You know, how's the back line, you know, fight in this? I'm a little bit worried. You know, Fat Booty is one of those very, very, let's say, he's one of those very prideful players. He, you know, he hasn't done well in the first 2 games. He really wants to do well. He picks this champion, he wants to carry on. It's just been focused every game. You know, even the game that they won when he was playing, I think he was playing Jhin. I think he was. I could be completely wrong. I'm actually completely forgetting. You know, it's going towards this Vayne. He really wants to carry. Oh, and you know, take his team to $444. The NACG squad saying, yeah, no, Cusss, you've been doing well. You know, all day, all night. We're gonna give you a comp that allows you to do something. Best singer, you know, maybe you don't get Jace, but I'm gonna give you something that can kind of do the same thing. I mean, he's jumping in all over the place on Jace. He's jumping in melee range no matter what. I guess, you know, the one thing I haven't considered is how does this Rammus fit in? Does Rammus stay backline, or does Rammus go after the backline? The Sivir's not going to be able to shred a Rammus. There's not a lot of damage to shred this Rammus, actually, at all. So as long as, you know, UF stays pretty well within reach of this game, I don't know, Rammus dies. I think Trundle presses R on the Rammus, shreds a lot of the health off, takes a lot of the stats away. You know, and you know, that's the entire idea of the Trundle pick, which then negates the rest of what the Rammus can do. But you know, does the Rammus get strong enough to where that doesn't matter, and still the damage from the NACG squad can't kill the Rammus? Salamander Man definitely has his work cut off from. Doesn't get the Zac banned, but said gets it picked away. And looking at, you know, and I guess at this point, you know, as we get into load in, look at kind of what these teams can do in the early game, where the focus is going to be on the map.
Random team generator. Hear this. We're playing Lulu, Skarner, Evelyn, Wukong, and Zac. There it is.
And let me see if I can't get this switched. There we go. Oh, I gotta move this around.
There's no buy.
Alright. I wish I could do this in between games, but you know, I'm just whatever. Do that.
How about we play a champ we've never played?
And that's gonna be, actually,
Like,
I can leave
legit
that.
never played. Like, I've legit never played Karthus.
And we're actually gonna load in already. I just finished. Let's see if I can't organize these out and see, you know, get about a minute and a half to kind of see where these guys are going. I expressed my concerns. Sorry, I already expressed my concerns with both teams, but you know, looking at this one, I feel like there's again, it could be a lot of focus that goes onto the Poppy again, on the Coma, on the top side. You know, if you said overextend, although, you know, not having a Kha'Zix, a little bit less damage, maybe a more damagey kind of top laner, but isn't going to be able to get as much damage down. Poppy could walk out of this one and get out, especially, you know, with the Zac engage by pressing W, gets out of this one. I would just have to think, you know, that the NACG squad is going to go for what
they're going to take it.
Is just going to go for what they always have, and that's going to be the focus onto Fat Booty, especially while he's on this Vayne.
Yeah, anyone who has knockups is good.
And I mean, you have Caston to roam, will out roam a Victor with Ghost again, not no TP versus a TP on the Kha'Zix, or sorry, not Kha'Zix, on the Castlewin. Plus the fact that Castlewin can just R across the map. Nice trade already coming through for ProPhase. He's going to establish lane dominance already in this one.
Like those two. I think that we should get a choke out.
And meanwhile, we're gonna have a pretty standard kind of standard lane. Something a whole lot's gonna go early. To think that level 2 is gonna be the big thing for these teams. Does Alistar get it first? Or does Leona get it first?
Oh. We need not.
This Cassidon already getting shoved in quite early into this game. No, try to farm this under turret safely. Does manage to pick up some. Does miss out on at least 4 of the CS, and you know, ProPhase with an early advantage onto the Cassidon. Range versus melee probably should happen. I'm gold. I don't know how to deal with the Cassidon. Essentially, I get he's melee, can punish him, but you know, nothing seems to work out the way you want it to sometimes. You know, both junglers on opposite sides of the map with Rammus looking towards the bot side. Looks like though NA Lab finishes clearing his blue buff, looking more towards the top side here, maybe potentially mid lane. Salamander Man on Rammus finally pings bot, is going to head towards there. The NACG team again not knowing this is actually a thing. A nice engage with a nice spell shield by Cusss. Going to taunt the Alistar, just dropping about half. Nothing will come of it other than that. It's going to impact the lane just a little bit. Coma though getting, again, just getting a little bit beat up here by this Trundle. Topside getting pushed in. He's going to stay relatively safe. All NA Lab's going to do is counter jungle, while Salamander Man again tries something on the bot side, doesn't quite work out. I think it's going to go back to normal. I don't know. Again, I don't see a whole ton being able to happen. I think if anything happens, it's going to have to be on the bottom side, maybe on mid lane. Not until Caston hits 6, or unless Caston somehow manages to outpush this Victor and gets caught out by Rammus. Meanwhile, you know, nice little engage here going on. Lolersa is going to get stunned up, get a lot of damage taken. That's going to be a booty drop really low, has to burn both sums while an ignite comes down. Only a flash left for Lolersa. Maybe first blood going to Cusss. Alistar not able to be taken down despite the flash engage coming out of Salamander Man. To be another flash, nothing left here for this bot lane, for either bot lane. And that quickly goes away, and again Fat Booty 0-1 starting out behind these games. And Coma flashes, gets a nice play on xMaoNan. What an outplay! See if he can't get out of this one still. He's going to be dropped really low, running through his minions. He's going to get the flash of NA Lab. He's still alive somehow. He gets out of that! How does he get out of that? Sorry, I just screwed that up. How does he manage to get out of that? Coma with an outplay. gets ganked, and again, you know, Zach not being a high damage jungler this time, and Alab not getting what he wanted this time. But a 2v3, you know, goes in favor of the NACG on squad on the bottom side of the map. Fat Booty just, you know, trying to do a little bit too much. Still an early game vein. Trying to establish dominance, likes to get ahead in his lane phases, kill his opponents in the lane phase. Just trying a little bit too hard, I think, in this series. And again, sorry, once again, just behind. The question becomes, for the third game out of 3, does the NACG squad get first turret gold? I would like to see that UF doesn't get that. For the sake of, you know, having a little bit of diversity, it would be something to talk about, you know, probably as, you know, just giving away early advantage points, see if, you know, if it can make the adjustments to not give that away. This record, I did not miss the poppy play. The camera auto pans. Alright, just gotta tell some people what's going on. So as we get out of the early game, heading towards mid game, ultimates start getting skilled in. You know, what's the focus? Again, the focus still just has to be this vein. And you know, what is UF's focus right now? You know, you've noticed Salamander Man going towards the bot side quite a bit, ganking the bottom side of the map, trying to do what he can to get Fat Booty Hey, because he wants to get ahead in this one, but already behind. You know, but since then, you know, the Rams hasn't done a whole lot. The Zach tried to go top, got outplayed. Has made an engage actually from lolersa. ProPhase is here, stuns up the Alistar. He can get a nice headbutt. It's going to get him away. Nothing comes of it. ProPhase trades his health bar for about how much Alistar has lost. And the Zach is bought just in case anything else happens. Coma going to get ulted. By the Struggle is going to have to try to run away, getting absolutely beat up. Nothing else will come of it. Actually, Coma actually has a little bit of an advantage here. Like that he has mana. Going to try to get on the Strundle, see if he can't do anything to him. Nothing will happen up there. 14 CS and a kill advantage on the bottom side of the map. That mid lane gap is gone with ProPhase's roam. Nothing coming of it. And just like that, NACG squad up 600 gold in the early game, despite the fact that we're tied. Kills all because of that kill onto Fat Booty. So you have 13 kills or sorry, 13, 15 CS and a kill up on the top side of the map. But that first blood gold is right now currently the difference in this one. ProPhase actually getting a little bit advantage back, burns his flash on NA Lab's gank there. Stump's going down. Coma trying to get out of this. Actually going to get nicely CC'd up by xMaoNan to see if Coma can get out of this. Gets the flash out of xMaoNan. He's really low. Is going to manage to escape. Silver ult comes through and TP from the Kassadin onto lolersa. He's going to get stunned up, ignited, and taken down by Best Singer. This Kassadin getting a little bit something from him, and Salamander Man shows up just a little bit too late. Going to get jumped up on here by NA Lab on this Zach. Has to burn his flash. And TP coming through for Coma is actually going to jump here onto Best Singer. If he's going to manage to rift walk his way out, still ghosting is his victors. If he can't pick up the Kassadin, he's going to manage to get out himself with another rift walk and the flash of Cusss. Flash heal actually. And nothing comes out of that but a couple some being traded. And NACG squad playing this the way they want to. A little bit early advantage, but it's going to be the Dragon started up for UF. The Zach is still over the wall. See if they can't find a way to get it. Actually go over. Oh, he spied it early. Salamander Man smites early, stolen by the XMaoNan. And at this point now, this Cassid's strong enough to trade with ProPhase's Victor. He's gonna go in here, get stunned up by the gravity field. Is he gonna be able to get out? Oh my gosh, he does. That's a tilter. Solo kill onto ProPhase for Bessinger, and you know, now you have a Cassidin that's snowballing out of control rather than a Cusss. Both carries yet again. The NACG squad are ahead, while UFs are still behind. You know, and at this point, UF needs to find a way to stop this Cassidin from snowballing. Find a way to get their carries a little bit ahead, to get some 30 CS advantage for Cusss over Fat Booty right now. Not having a great game, not having a great series actually. He can't find a way to get back into it. Actually, nice trades here by Coma. He's gonna knock up this Trundle, stealing a lot of health right now out of mana. You are gonna have NA Lab here on the top side, gonna go on to Coma. Actually, he's still really low, trying to take him down. Lots of damage, still really low. Salamander Man trying to get this Trundle. They're going to get him, and Coma stays alive. 2-0 on this Poppy. Salamander Man finally having a little bit of an impact on this game. xMaoNan still trying to find his first kill participation of this game. UF clinging to hope through Coma in the top lane. Meanwhile, 18 CS advantage, but 2 kills are still in favor of the NACG squad Bessinger. Actually, looks like Barranco Coma getting a nice trade here on the NA Lab. He's going to stay alive. Actually, Coma is very low still, having to kind of back away from this one. Remember, Zach doesn't have mana costs. He will manage to get out. Actually, got 2 here on the top side. They're going to look to dive. The Zach passive is going to be popped. Ramus going to pop his ult as well. See, they can't grab him. That's going to be... Oh, they don't get the last blobs, and he's going to live 2 low health bars on side of UF. And just another miscommunication. ProPhase dropping that ult. Does miss the last couple blobs. The Zach will stay alive. Meanwhile, we have a mid lane siege going on right now. UF responds with the Vayne Leona mid against the Alistar Sivir and Cassidin. See if they can't find a way to kind of stop this. You're gonna be Alistar going in, pops the ult, the shrug off the initial stun. That's gonna be Fat Booty. Nope, gonna be Coma getting his 3rd kill actually against the Alistar. Wait, lolersa just solo killed the Cassidin with Leona. Okay. 2 for 0 for University of Florida. I don't know how these solo kills are happening. Leona just solo killed the Cassidin from full health. And they're actually looking to mid lane right now. Salamander Man just a little bit of aggro. That's a-okay. Just trying to walk up the minions. I get it. It'll be the engage coming out of NA Lab. Just misses. Does burn the Sivir ult as well. Kind of unfortunate cooldown being burned. It's about 60-70 seconds on that. See if the UF squad can't get anything out of it. That's just, I do not have the name tags on, but that's a-okay. I'm actually going to be the engage out of the Alistar. Stepping a bit too far, burns the ignite. Cassidin picking up the kill. Again, just these free kills, just extending these plays just a little bit too far. That's just how it's been for the University of Florida, it seems like. And this Coma is just so tanky up here, shrugging off anything that this Trundle has for him. I'm significantly far behind, trying to go for this Ravenous Hydra first item actually. And Coma is just so tanky, so much armor actually. Started not taking any damage. ProPhase is up here trying to clean something up, gets Flash Ghost, and xMaoNan takes down ProPhase. He had turret aggro somehow. And yet again, another miscommunication. Makes it 5 kills to 4 and just halts where UF had going off of their last play. Be an engage from lolersa onto the Alistar, overstepping again, not knowing if the Ramus was there. Just not enough damage to kill him. The Vayne ult is popped. Got Poppy burning the TP, is going to complete it, sits in the mid lane. Nice 3-man ult coming out of lolersa, 2 stun. Not going to matter Casting can just rift walk away. The other's just too tanky. Nothing comes of that sequence of events.
Oh, if we get a knockup right now.
From now on, you know, 3-1 Kassadins can apparently get solo killed by Leona. I don't know. And xMaoNan finally picking up a kill, maybe gonna get his Ravenous completed. You know, is that enough to kind of say, Coma, you're not able to do a whole lot left in this game. Kassadin super far ahead is going to be able to one-shot any of these carries. ProPhase 0-2 on Victor, still with only 1 upgrade on his Hex Core and completed boots. And Fat Booty's still looking for first completed items, a bunch of components right now. UF really needs to find a way to get these carries farmed up. I don't know if there's a whole lot they can do right now. Sharing farm actually in the mid lane. As of right now, the bot lane might push into them. It's like actually Coma is going to get the top lane turret, get a little bit of gold into UF's pockets. As that turret does manage to go down, Coma is still a bit ahead right now. Still no completed first item. xMaoNan instead of going for the Merc Tread boots and a little bit of Tang. Meanwhile though, it will be a Mountain Drake. Right? The first Drake of the game was a Mountain Drake, wasn't it? Yeah, that's Ocean Drake. I think all the icons are a little bit messed up in Spectator, but the Ocean Drake going towards the NACG squad. They have 2 dragons to none. And now it's going to be ProPhase going to get jumped up on by the Zac and Kassadin. Going to be CC'd up. Zac just misses the ultimate. You know, Salamander Man was there on the Rammus, but not having a huge impact in this game. There's actually going to be Fat Booty going in onto the Sivir. It burns through the heal. It'll be Fat Booty that gets a kill onto the Sivir. Nice play and coordination. Picks up Cusss for stepping up just a bit too far in this one. And it seems like, well, when any team gets something going, they just make a mistake somewhere. This leads to a halt in momentum. We're deadlocked at 5 kills to 5, but a 2k gold advantage still for the NACG squad. Alistar trying to do something. Really low health Fat Booty actually flashes and ignites, trying to get this Vayne. Not going to. He's got to be kind of careful. It's going to take the Alistar, but has his cooldowns back up. Gonna have to leave it. A nice play out of BUXTON Kitchen. Waiting to say that name all game. Does manage to prevent the tower take and stays alive while doing it. Coma get a little bit poked at. And this Trundle, you know, Coma, please. Too many emotes. someone tell Coma his manners. Very disrespectful. 5 kills to 5. 2k gold advantage, almost 2.5 now. What needs to happen for either team? Maybe the NACG squad need to find a way to push through a lane that isn't Poppy. You know, Trundle able to kind of deal with the Poppy at this point. Should be able to have a completed item on his next back. No, not quite there. Actually going for the Rift Herald. Right now it's gonna be, looks like it might be an explosive fight coming out here. Coma, the CP still down, running over there as fast as they can. But it might be a little bit too late. 5 men on this Rift Herald, and that's gonna be taken down. Goes over to the Trundle to try to push through the top side. Fat Booty trying to shove out that way as fast as he can. What's gonna happen? I don't think a neutral objective take yet again. It's, you know, if you just want to judge this game, you know, where it's at, the reason why NACG is winning, 3-0 is the score on neutral objectives. Maybe, you know, it's not really gold, because right now, I mean, eventually the Rift Herald should pocket at least 1 turret worth of gold. Flash is going to have to be burned by lolersa as Cusss burns his ultimate in a lab trying to look for another engage. Well, it's 3-0. Sure, it doesn't mean anything as far as the gold lead, but you know, it just shows the control of this game where it's been. As right now, this Trundle's still unable to trade and duel with this Poppy, losing it. Bramble Vest actually completed. Well, then actually going to be a TP burnt to the top side. A little bit later for Coma, he's going to do it straight onto the tower. He's going to join his team immediately. That booty going to burn. His ultimate to get there, and actually has to run out. He's not with this team at all. A little bit disappointed there, but he's back into the fight, and that's going to be Cusss taking down Salamander Man on this Rammus. You know, that's it. Well, it's actually Coma deletes Cusss. Actually, he's looking for the Zac. He's going to pop the Zac passive. He's going to stun up the Trundle against the wall. And here's Fat Booty going to clean up NA Lab. And that's going to be 2 for 1 so far in favor of the University of Florida. And Best Singer escapes just a sliver of health. xMaoNan a little bit as well. Managed to get out. And Trundle half left on that Rift Herald. TP's actually going to be able to be completed here by the cast, and the turret's still going to go down. Rift walks out, takes a little bit of damage, no harm done. Risky TP there. Wasn't going to save it anyways, not entirely sure about that play. It was, like I said, now down to 1/3 on that Rift Herald. The entire idea, give it to the Trundle, push through that top turret, kind of get it down. It's really low, but when that Herald's eventually going to run out, you have to dump it off somewhere. Actually, it looks like Coma's back in right now. Might be an outlet. To get that Herald down, no TP out of him. Should be uncontested. Drop the Herald. At least get the turret. Or just get the turret and drop it somewhere else, maybe. But he's got to use it somewhere relatively soon. This is going to burn it up top lane. Get that top turret. That's a little bit of damage. Someone's going to have to respond to it. It's going to be Fat Booty moving up towards the top quadrant to deal with that Rift Herald take. Dragon coming up. Is that actually an Infernal Drake? I know they're all moving towards it. It's going to be another Ocean. Actually coming up here for the NACG squad. Looking to take it, make it 3 Drakes. Double Ocean would be insanely strong for the beefy tank, for the 3 beefy tanks that they got in this game. They are actually going to start it up. Coma kind of sitting around there. Salamander Man trying to get in anywhere. It's going to be blast coned out. Salamander Man tried for the steal. They're actually all completely grouped. This Alistar a little bit far forward here. Gravity Kill is going to nicely separate all the tanks away. But they're just so tanky. That Booty's still free hitting as of right now, but that's 3 for 0, 4 for 0 in the NACG squad, and I just don't know what happened. These tanks are just too tanky. Coma the only one left alive, and it looks like it's going to be the Baron going towards the NACG squad. 5-1-3 for Best Singer on this cast, and 3-2-4 Cusss on Sivert. Finally, this Trundle managed to be pretty damn tanky in the last fight. That Booty not able to shred through them fast enough. Still no eye edge. Berserker Screeves and Static Shiv. You know, maybe if he has that Infinity Edge, that fight goes a bit differently. As of right now, ProPhase still pretty far behind in that mid lane. Salamander Man getting ulted by the Trundle, losing quite a bit of his armor and MR stats, you know. Takes up that Trundle pretty nicely. And that's all that has to happen in these fights. Now Alistar goes in, disrupts a lot of the fight. Zac disrupting a lot of the fight. Cusss is free hitting. And Best Singer just has to wait for a good time to go in. And it's the same comp that's been played 3 times in a row. And UF seemed like they dealt with it somewhat fine in game 1 and just haven't displayed that they can deal with it at all, really. Past couple games they've shown glimmers of hope, but has not quite gone their way. Meanwhile, actually, Best Singer, if you notice, built a Mejai's, trying to flex his muscles a little bit against the UF squad. Again, game 3, this is the final game. $444 on the line, a 3rd place title. UF really wants this one. You know, Fat Booty really wants it too, trying to carry on this vein. Still no IH completed. lolersa is actually going to go in. It's going to be separated completely by the Zac, and the ult ProPhase back in. Going to get taken down. Fat Booty was already down at the start of this fight. Salamander Man taken down by Best Singer, and that's another 3 for 0. The IH was done actually for the vein. That's going to be mid inhib turret, mid inhib, and possibly more. Actually going to look for the game right now. Coma has to find his way in. A nice TP coming out of xMaoNan, and that's actually going to be the base. That's going to be the game set match. Had insult to injury. After taking down one last little desperation move, but that's going to be it. Just over 26 minutes. Blue side NACG squad reverse sweeps UF 2-1, takes 3rd place and the prize money.
Now you hit the one.
And that's not really the best, is it? Not. Does kind of feel bad for these guys, you know? In game one, felt pretty confident, picked his ass support. In game 2, maybe it was just a little bit too troll. Unable, you know, to really find their way through this game. And game 3 comes along and just out back road and everything. I mean, everything just kind of fell into place, and clearly, you know, the other squad just a little bit far ahead, was able to make the plays that they needed to win the game. And you know, the UF squad has to be a bit demoralized about this, so. We were actually going to get an interview with some of the UF players in a little bit. Meanwhile, you know, I can only really kind of talk about the series. You know, what happened, what could have happened, what should have been. Seemed like, you know, the jungling this game wasn't really the most impactful thing as it was the past couple games. Salamander Man denied the Zac this time. It showed, but NA Lab, you know, tried his best to do what he could on the Zac. Was able to reproduce kind of what Salamander Man was able to. And in the end, you know, kind of came down to Fat Booty unable to stay safe again on a vein. And what can you do with it? I'm apparently a smoothie kid, by the way. If you're University of Florida, you know, do you try to do more stuff with Coma? Do you try to lane swap it out, get the vein into a safer lane, or shove their bot lane somewhere else? You know, maybe you give that up and you try to say, okay, you know, put the Rammus down bottom and see if you can't keep them safe and get your vein farmed up, because that's really the main thing. The vein couldn't farm up, couldn't stay safe, and that was the win condition of that team comp. The fact that you have a vein, you know, and just looking at everything else. Looking at the rest of the comp, I mean, ProPhase, the only other carry for the teams, fell behind. Sure, Coma had a lot of kills, had a lot of goal, and it was far ahead, but not in a carry. Not on a carry champion, unable to carry his way out of this game. 3 big beefy tanks. Sure, you know, xMaoNan didn't build tank, but just presses R on that Trundle and steals what the Rammus has, especially if the Rammus presses W. Just gets so much free stats. He just instantly becomes a 3rd tank. Especially that double ocean came through. Sure, maybe didn't mean a whole lot, but you know, you knew that Salamander Man wanted to try to steal it, was alone on that steal. Ended up forcing a fight that goes 4-4-0. In favor, 3-for-0, 4-for-0, in favor of the NACG squad, which ultimately led, you know, to that quick finish. You know, I really feel like, you know, UF should try a little bit harder to keep Fat Booty a little bit safer. Maybe try to say, hey, you know, we're going to play this in a way. I'm not opposed to anything of what lolersa did with a lot of his engages, but, you know, the Vayne was already so far behind. You know, you're trying desperately, you know, to try to get some of these fights to work. You got one to work already. The Vayne just got the eye edge. You think, yeah, you know, we can do this. First to go down in the fight is yet again Fat Booty just mispositioning in these fights on the Vayne. Hopefully, you know, we can see what, you know, if he has anything to say about it.
I want Chase though. You said Chase.
But
You said Chase.
you know, as of right now, I'm open to take suggestions for any viewers. You know, if they have anything to say about anything. As we are just currently waiting for UF to finish their talks, and we'll get interviews with some of the players. Figure out, you know, kind of find out what they kind of thought of the series, how things went, what they should have done, what they were kind of planning, comms, different things like that. At the moment, though, you know, I wish I could see. Can I see the charts? Actually, no, I'm not allowed to see the charts. Can I view it on the web?
Oh.
No, it's unfortunate. So I tried to see if I could find it on the web. You know, but looking back at everything as a whole, games 1, 2, and 3. Game 1 really felt like, you know, the NACG side had control. You know, they ended up pushing through the mid lane, got the mid lane inhib, but then threw it in a fight, nice force, out of University of Florida, which they just put the pelts in metal, got a 20-minute Baron actually, and secured the game. Game 2, NACG squad again has the advantage, put the pedal to metal, gets an inhib, go and UF manages to make a couple miracle fights happen, make a miracle fight or two happen, gains control, goes for the Baron at 20 minutes, and this time gets cut down. Even though they're in a 5-for-3 situation, gets cut down. They managed to trade off 1 kill for a couple of their own lives, but having to back off. The jungler's still alive. What's his name? NA Lab still alive, able to secure the Baron, which leads to the downward spiral of that game. And then game 3, you know, not as much jungle influence. Sure, you know, the junglers were across the map and trying to gank lanes as much as they could, but you know, the laner's doing a pretty good job not succumbing to a lot of those ganks. But you know, just see a lot of forces onto the Victor mid. You know, the Cassidon really getting a lot of nice roams. Bessinger getting a lot of nice roams bottom. BUXTON Kitchen getting a lot of nice engages onto the bottom lane. Fat Booty unable to really kind of stay safe against BUXTON Kitchen all series long. Twice BUXTON Kitchen was on that Leona, once on the Alistar. All 3 games able just to get on top of Fat Booty, and you know, Bessinger able to get ahead on his own roams on Cassidon, which then led to ProPhase after getting solo killed and pushed in repeatedly in the mid lane, nullifying the Victor pick right there and then. At that point, you know, 2 ahead carries versus 2 behind carries, and tanks that will scale no matter what. Leads to that game, you know, just kind of finishing up the way it did, going down the way it did. And looking at everything, you know, overall, you can't say UF didn't play good games, you know, and try to fight their way through it. But I really wish that they were a little bit more proactive. Salamander Man, when he was on the Zac, was very proactive. But ProPhase, you know, able to push in mid, you know, not really, you know, having as much control in the areas around mid this time throughout the games. You know, I didn't really say that he was doing it. I just didn't really see that he was doing it. Coma, a lot of times until game 3, you know, was just shoving up when he shouldn't have, you know, not as well worded, and gets taken down by jungle ganks and things like that. Game 3, though, managing to get ahead purely off of a nice outplay, actually, and able to snowball off of that. But you know, in the end, you know, a lot of mistakes, whether it be positioning. You know, I keep saying Fat Booty, but you know, I'm not really trying to pin the blame on him at all. But you know, a lot of the adjustments that UF had to make weren't able to make, and ACG after their first loss made the adjustments they made. Sure, they had a few, sure they had a few little missteps, and it really wasn't the cleanest until the third game, or even in the third game, just a bunch of missteps by both teams, but just a lot of mistakes that shouldn't be made. These guys, they know that they shouldn't make it. But NACG was just a little bit more clean in closing it out, and ends up concluding the series 2-1 for them. Third place for them. UF will finish 4th.
Leona.
And again, just UF squad is currently talking about the last game in series as a whole for a little bit, and then we'll be able to get into interviews and find out kind of what all the individual players had to say and think about that game. I wonder if my little analyst friend here, Alk, has anything to say. Pretty quiet this past game, actually.
What?
Doesn't seem like it himself. Here we go. Yeah. So, as Alk said, UF had some pretty good macro play coming out, but just seemed to, as he says, float through most of the games, just kind of letting them happen, not being extremely proactive, not really finding a way to create plays versus Best Singer, who ended up being able to create his own plays. Rome on a Cassidon, not being shoved in by Victor, finding a way to kind of push out, make his Rome bottom, get a kill or an assist or something, and just get himself ahead. ProPhase not controlling areas around mid, and then as Game 3 showed, just a lot of neutral objective pressure was being exerted by the NACG squad that we used to see out of the UF squad, but it just did not happen really at all in any of these games. A ton of objective pressure. They had one secured Baron, and they tried to secure a Baron in Game 2, which ultimately failed and would throw that game. But overall, see what that if it kind of leads to any sort of a change out of these guys at all. Again, we are just trying to see if we can't get an interview with these guys. They are talking things over as of right now. Don't really have a whole ton left to say about these games, so I'm gonna put on a little bit of music and wait, and see if we can't get interviews with some of these players. Well, we'll be back.